Hello everyone and welcome back to another great super cool radio interview. I'm your host as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. And just a quick reminder to thumbs up this video and make sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you not miss any super cool radio interviews or episodes. I have an awesome guest who will be joining me momentarily. I had the opportunity to see A Killer's Confession live for the second time back in December. Always a great time seeing them. I have the opportunity to chat with my guest, Waylon Reavis. We're going to talk about that show in Battle Creek, his thoughts on what's going on in society right now, the direction A Killer's Confession is heading, and so much more. So let's dive into this interview. Let's go! Before we jump into the show, I want to tell you about our merch store on Threadless. Shop a wide variety of logos with multiple colors and sizes available for each design. Your support is greatly appreciated and helps us continue to make killer content like this episode. Please visit supercoolradio.threadless.com or the link in the description to shop now. I got a great guest with me at this time. He is the lead vocalist and creator of A Killer's Confession. Please welcome Waylon Reavis.
Thank you for having me tonight, Matthew, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, it's very nice to see you. I know we talked just a little briefly last time I saw you at in Battle Creek in December, so it's very nice to have you on the show.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm glad you had me after that show and my meltdown on stage.
Well, look, I was interviewing Sahaj for the first half of your set, so by the second half, I didn't know anything went wrong.
Well, the second half, I had just, you hit a level and you said, fuck it. That's where we were at.
No, you were past.
We were way past fuck it. I was past fuck it, and I was like, let's go.
Is there really a level past fuck it? I think you just go past it.
Oh, dude, it's like when you hit past fuck it, like babies might get thrown. It's a bad place to be.
Not that we condone that at all here.
No, we don't condone it, but like shit happens. We won't say babies. We'll throw Cabbage Patch Kids. That's what
there we go.
We'll throw some Cabbage Patch Kids and maybe kick the dog.
Yeah, once that's the level past fuck it. It's kicking dogs and throwing Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yes. We were there, and I had Tank with me. Tank would have bit you. He's like I'm on Dad's side.
But I will say, so it was my second time seeing. I actually got to see. It was a headlining show in Fort Wayne, I believe, like a year and a half ago. At Pierre's.
Pierre's, yes. Absolutely love playing Pierre's, man. I have been playing there since the early 2000s, and just like it has always been there's been establishments. It's kind of just this iconic thing, and to still be able to come back, even though it's a new band, new project. It's amazing and having a great crowd always having a great crowd.
Oh, for sure. One thing I really noticed about like with Pierre's, their sound always sounds good. There,
one of the best in the league, man. Like you get to Pierre's, you know it's going to be right and you know it's going to be good. They have a top level staff there that know what they're doing. They have a great system, just amazing low end, and just they know what they're doing. You don't even have to really bring anybody. They've got it covered.
Oh, definitely. They're always very professional there, and they always have very unique like shows. They have obviously the rock and metal shows, but then like I saw last week on their page, they had midget wrestling like on a Saturday night. Like they're very diverse with what they do.
Well, that wrestling that will bring it in. Like I actually follow some micro wrestling on TikTok, and I absolutely love it. I'm like, these are actually pretty cool characters. So like I could definitely see that being a draw.
Oh yeah, I was watching some clips from the show at Pierre's. It looks like a lot of fun. I have to get out to one of those micro shows just because they look like it's always a good time.
Oh, the micro shows are awesome, and I mean, but like I said, they have characters, and I follow them on TikTok. So it's like those guys get up there and they're entertaining and just absolutely, and they're wrestlers. It's like there's very small wrestlers that do the same Death Divine stunts. So, wow, I wouldn't even do that.
No, I wouldn't either. I was thrown by a pro wrestler for one of my videos, like way back when I first started. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm 6'1", so to me, like I didn't have to like do anything. He just literally just threw me. It was very impressive.
Well, that's the thing. I have a lot of wrestling friends, and anybody knows my past knows I have actually stepped into the squared circle, and I have done things in the ring. And those guys are the best athletes out there. They're performers, they're artists, and they're athletes. On top of that, most of all, they're athletes, and they're very, very, very strong, tough people. So if you're one of those people like, oh, wrestling's fake and all that, it's like, yeah, you go in, let one of them hit you. Like you'll come back with a different tone. I promise you that. Those guys are, they're there to entertain you and give you a show. Keyword sports entertainment. But they are as tough as they come.
Oh, for sure. They train like, they train like athletes. They are actual athletes, and they definitely train like that. And they're ridiculously resilient, strong. And,
well, a lot of them are like former football players. I mean, I'm talking about high level. I'm not talking that, I played Pee-wee. No, these guys are real athletes. And for anybody to not say that a wrestler's an athlete, they're high. You're high.
No, exactly. And, I always enjoyed it. I wouldn't, maybe if there's occasion where I would step into the ring, maybe I would do it, but I'd let them handle it because I don't like getting beat up.
Well, that's the thing. I was lucky enough to be in the ring with some true professionals that took care of me. And those who are in the business, they know what I'm talking about, but they walked me through everything, and they protected me to make sure that I didn't get hurt. And I mean, granted, I did get injured, but that's going to happen. Gravity doesn't change for anybody. A bump's a bump. Like it's like you hit a mat. And it doesn't change just because you think there's a little piece of padding on it. No, it still hurts.
I would imagine, gravity is not very, it doesn't discriminate. It works the same for everybody.
Gravity does not change. It's like, so when you see these guys jumping off like these 20-foot cages, remember, that's still ground underneath them. That they have not come up with some levitating ability to make their body parts not snap. They have just, they're crazy. I would not do that. Like I have a thing with heights. Like I can get up on a height, but jumping off of it, I've jumped off mini PA and I think alcohol had a little bit to do with that. It's like little liquid courage. But if I'm straight laced and I'm looking off 20 feet and thinking about jumping, there better be some water or something underneath me.
Yeah, I'm not too big on heights either. I haven't really jumped off really anything that high. Or maybe when I was a kid, like you don't think about it, you just do it. But now as I gotten older, I go, oh, that looks ridiculously high, and I'm good. Thanks.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I'll jump out of a plane. I got a parachute because if it don't work, it's done anyway. But if I have to jump off of something and land on ground and roll or whatever, I'm not really wanting to do that. I'm like, no, this is gonna hurt, and I'm too old for this shit. But I have been known to cliff dive. I will jump off cliffs into water, but you have to land right on that too. It's like, and you get up there, man. It still bothers me, but like that rush going off of it, it's insane. But I'm just glad it's water. I'm actually going into water. I don't want to hit ground. I think that's my problem with it. If there's water around, I'll jump off. And if I got a parachute, it's like, oh well, we're good there. But if it's solid ground underneath me, I'm thinking about it. I'm just like, no, we're gonna sit up here like they get a ladder.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, ground, it gives you like a different perspective. With water, it's a lot different than just looking at just ground.
Well, that's the thing too. Like you jump up high enough, like hitting, like you hit the water wrong, it's still gonna be like hitting pavement. So you need to know what you're doing.
That is definitely true. I haven't done anything like that yet.
You ever done a flip and messed up and did a belly flop? Think about that from 200 feet.
I have done that. I've tried to impress people, and then I just wind up like hurting myself. So
I think the highest rock I've jumped, I was like 120 feet. And the guy I was with is like, he goes, you go in like a pencil. He goes, straighten your toes, keep your hands to the side. He goes, do not move forward, don't move back, just try to go straight in. He goes, point your toes. And I said, why? He goes, it'll break your feet when you hit. The water would push it up and just snap your ankles.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, water mess you up too, but you just got to be smart when you're doing it. But I love doing that because I love swimming. I'm a water baby. Like, you put a pool next to me, I'm gonna live in it.
Well, I didn't know that with the water.
Oh yeah,
like break your feet. Like that's intense. Like to make sure you do it right.
We had a guy that I grew up with back in North Carolina. That we had a bridge called 268. We called 268 Bridge, and this thing was high up, and it was a thing for the teenagers to walk out there middle of the night and jump off of it. And I mean, this is like 200 feet down into the water. I mean, this was no small bridge. And they do it. And one of our friends got up there just as inebriated as he could ever be. And two people had already jumped before him. And thank God they had already were down there in the water, because he landed like an L. Like, he smacked his face. It knocked him out. Like, just drunk. I remember he didn't walk right for like 3 weeks and had to like just look like just bruised off the side of his body. Like, just messed him up. Lucky it didn't kill him.
Yeah. Oof, so that's rough.
Well, you learn. Don't drink and jump.
You definitely learn for next time if you decide to do it. Like,
you can just look at him and learn your lesson. Like, I'm not doing that.
That is very true. No, I did want to talk about. I've enjoyed. We talked about pro wrestling and cliff diving, jumping in water. Definitely a lot of cool stuff. I wasn't expecting to have a conversation like that, but I'm definitely enjoying it. I did want to talk about. So you had a run of shows with Raw when I saw you last. But I'm curious, since he did produce the latest album, which is Remember, which I have right here, that you were very nice to sign.
Thank you.
So how did you meet Sahaj and determine like he was a good producer for A Killer's Confession?
I didn't know him at all. To be honest with you, I knew of Raw, and I remember, do you call my name? And we had a mutual friend that was working for me at the time, and he's like, "Hey, you need a radio song, and I have the producer for you." I work with him a lot. He goes, "I'm going to call my friend Sahaj Ticotin and see if I can get you in." And they ended up doing that. And I flew out to California, didn't know anybody there, landed on my own, and ended up renting a car and getting a hotel. And I went to Sahaj's house for the first time. And the first time I met him, we wrote the songs Angel on the Outside and I Wish. And just like he showed me ways to use my voice that I had never used in Mushroom Head or anything else. Like a new way to be me. And we just hit it off the bat, and he's been my friend ever since.
Well, that's really awesome. And I know I've had the opportunity to interview him in December, and what I really know, he's super intelligent. Like, like just not just about music, just like about just life in general. He's very intelligent.
Sahaj has been around the block a few times, and it's like, never underestimate. That guy knows a little bit about everything. He really does. So don't have a few drinks with him and get in a heated debate, because he'll know about what he's talking about.
He definitely will. You nailed right on the head. He knows a little bit about everything, and he's incredibly smart. And just like music, he's just extremely calculated and smart with like the way he produces. It's incredible.
Yes, he is very, very. I love the direction. Now, Sahaj and I, we've not parted ways, but I'm kind of going on a different trajectory now of what I'm doing, and everything in life. I mean, I did a lot of Indifference of Good Men and Remember with Sahaj, and sometimes you got to branch out to come back and go full circle. And I see us working together again in the future, but like I'm on this different trajectory of doing what I'm doing, and you know, the circle will come around. We'll end up working together again.
Oh, definitely. But I mean, you gotta, you're on a little bit. You gotta branch out a little bit and go in a little bit of different direction. I definitely look forward to seeing what direction that is for A Killer's Confession. But I know you guys definitely work together again. But right now you gotta explore the different direction at this time.
Well, that's the thing. I'm going darker, and Sahaj he's a really good a rock, radio rock kind of guy, and I'm really not going that direction. I'm more anger and more. I'm not trying to be as commercial. I'm really just trying to be direct and make a statement more than I am trying to write a hit. I really will just make statements and just I don't care about hits. I really don't care about being a rock star per se. I don't care about being on the radio. I don't care about having a billion views, but like I do care about saying things and talking shit. So that's if you can catch my drift and if you can read between the lines, I got a big fuck you coming to everybody.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing the statements you're going to make.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I'm going to say what everybody's afraid of, and I'm going to challenge people to cancel me because I'm not afraid of certain beliefs. I believe everybody can believe what they want. Where in life we forgot how to do that and have a civilized conversation between two individuals instead of being like, I'm right, you're wrong, and you're wrong because I'm right. And if you don't believe what I think, you need to keep your mouth shut and you need to be silenced. I don't believe in that. Whether I agree with the person and their beliefs or not, I don't believe in that tactic. Does that make sense? I don't believe in silencing anybody. So I'm just going to take up the mantle of playing A Killer's Confession.
Well, I really like that. I definitely understand what you mean with that, and I kind of similar to my approach of things is I don't mind if people have opinions, but don't say that my opinions are invalid because of your opinions.
Exactly, and you see that a lot more here lately. And this album, so I'm treading into waters that I'm speaking from some truths, but some things that need to be handled. I'm not going to go into detail, but like it's a very much darker and it's heavier AKC and. I definitely needed to work with some different type of guys to go that route because I mean, like I said, Sahaj is more of a radio guy, and I don't look at this. I don't see this going mainstream. I don't see this going and being the next big thing, which I would never care to be in the first place. I think that's a bunch of horse shit. I don't like when people put musicians on a pedestal, and myself included. I don't like being put on a pedestal, and I don't think any of us deserve it. We're people. None of us solved world hunger. None of us have made peace. We just wrote a song that was catchy. So you can take it for what it is.
No, and I honestly, I definitely agree with that. I know there's, not just musicians, this is celebrities in general, that a lot of people, put that those celebrities on a pedestal. But you are definitely right with just breaking it down to what like a musician is. That's making music. You happen to make a catchy song that people enjoyed.
Well, that's the thing. I'm here to entertain you, and I'm honored that I have the ability and have been given the a stage to do that for you. But do I care for the fame? No, fame is fickle. What matters is time and family. And if you can't get the time with your family, you're not rich. It's like, because when it all said and done, and I've got 25 years experience. I've been doing this a long time. So for anybody to say I'm speaking out of my ass, they don't know because they've not done what I've done. They've not traveled like I traveled. When they're there and the show's going on, it's amazing. And when they leave, you're alone again. That's how it is. Your trajectory is always up and down. And, it's like, enjoy it for what it is, but remember, you're no God.
Honestly, I can't really add, you just summed it up very well with that, by saying that you are no God. That is a great way to describe it. And kind of what we were talking about before this interview too, with, about being rock stars.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I can't stand influencers, the people that get on. I hate influencers. I hate anybody that just puts themselves on a pedestal and says, I'm here to influence you with my opinions. Well, I would rather be educated than influenced any day of the week. Educate me. Don't influence me, because influencing somebody is tricking them to follow you. That's you influence me to go that way. Educate me. Do you see the difference?
There's definitely a big difference. It's kind of funny. I was talking to my dad earlier today, and I talked about this in other interviews that, my dad is a priest, and he was talking about that people are becoming like they feel like they're their own god nowadays.
You're very much right. Everybody's addicted to their phone. Everybody's addicted to their social media and how many likes and how much love can you get when you have love around you and you don't realize it. Like I said, be happy that you're being admired and that you are being appreciated for the art that you're creating that's hopefully good enough to where it's going to outlive you and give you a legacy. But remember, you're nothing special, and you're not a god, and you're not a peacekeeper, and you damn sure don't have any foot to talk about politics, religion, race, creed, or any of that. You are just a songwriter or a performer. That's it. That just because you got famous does not give you any clout to have the mental capability of speaking to the rest of the world on how they should conduct their lives. And that's where people are messing up, because you're following all these idiots. And I'm going to say it, you're all fucking idiots for fucking like these people that follow the masses and they don't educate themselves. And like I said, don't influence me, educate me. Educate me. I want to be educated. I want to have knowledge that I don't have to go look at Google for. Retain that knowledge. I want to be educated, because that is true wealth, is your mind, is being able to think in here and know right from wrong and understanding.
Oh, I definitely agree. And kind of the thing, like when I look around at what's going on, is that common sense is not very common anymore. For some, it's like I just look at either just people online or like sometimes people in person, and I just have to blankly stare at them, just going like, what is going on here? Like I'm not understanding anything you're doing.
And they're making millions of dollars because of it.
Yeah,
that's the part that is beyond me. It's like, who are you? What have you done? Okay, you got sponsorships, because these sponsors want to grab off of your 15 minutes of fame, and that's all it is. 15 minutes, because you're going to be gone. You're going to be replaced with the next fucking idiot that does the next stupid thing, and it's just going to change. And the only people that are really making out are the people that are selling the products in these people's names, because they're smart enough to be like, all right, here's your 15 minutes. Well, we're going to jerk our deal out from me and give it to the next guy, and we're going to continue selling the same product just with a different face.
Oh, exactly. And what I don't know if people I don't know if they just forget about or not realize is that even if, let's say, your career ends, the world's still going to go on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to say this. I can have a heart attack right now, and this interview is going to continue. You might be confused by it, with my head just going boom down, but it's going to continue, and the people can continue. And they're going to bury me, and life's going to continue, and it's going to keep going, and it's going to keep doing it for generation after generation after generation until somebody's stupid enough to push the red button and end us all. That's, and like, oh, you're such a morbid person. Well, I do sing for a killer's confession. This is where my mind goes. This is facts. This is undeniable truths. You're going to be born. You're going to pay taxes, and you're going to die. You may even get murdered. Who knows? And here's another thing that people don't like to hear anymore. You are a fucking statistic. We all are. Some of us are going to become drug addicts. Some of us are become wealthy. Some of us will get critically injured in a car accident. Some of us are going to live the rest of our life and die in our sleep. The lucky ones. Everybody is a statistic. All of us. Nobody is above that.
Oh, for sure. Everyone's a statistic, like when they're living, when they're dead.
Yes, everybody is.
Honestly, I've thought about this a lot. Just like this week in general, it's just like, how important is everything in life? Like you really have to break down like what's important in life. But then if you look at like the bigger picture with everything, like the big corporations and everything else, like doesn't matter if you're living or gone. There's going to be other people to replace. Yeah, there's going to be other people to replace you. It's just going to keep going. Life is going to go on.
You know, I look like I'm morbid, and I watch people who died. I watch old funerals. I look who has died, and I remind myself daily, this is the end of it. This is where it all comes to. Now, is it really that important to be this? Is it really that important to build to bend your moral character to have that? When this is going to be the final result at the end. At the final result, if I'm lucky enough, I'll get a small little thing said, today on such and such, Waylon Reavis has died. And that's it. That's it. So what do I do before that that's worth it? Because like the race for fame and fortune and all that bullshit, it ain't. Because you can't take it with you. What? I'm going to have a mansion in the afterlife? I doubt it. You know, it's like it's a very much a thing. It's a rat race to get there, and I have slowly took myself out of it. I don't care for it anymore. I'm like, I would rather be the villain's villain, and point out the things that people are willing to cancel you for, and say the things that people are afraid of, but they're true. And if you don't like it,
I 100% agree with that. I'm going to add one more thing. I do want to move on to the future plans for A Killer's Confession. And that is that at the top, it's all people. They're just trying to like screw each other over and, you know, just trying to, you know, cancel them, eliminate them. And to me, it just seems like so much headache to try to keep up with all that. It's like, what's the point? Honestly,
there is no point. It's control. That's what it really is. People love to control. People love to control other people. If you don't believe that, oh well, you know. But now they're doing it in ways of your feelings. Well, you can't be that way because you've hurt me and you've hurt my feelings. Well, nobody gives a fuck about your feelings. No, your feelings are never going to do anything but torment you. They're not gonna build a house. They're not going to raise a kid. They're not going to feed you. They're not going to do anything. But if you're have not been raised well enough, and I'm gonna say it like this: if you've not been raised well enough to be like, well, times are tough and it hurt my feelings, but how do I make this right? Well, I'm gonna lace up my boots a little tighter and I'm gonna walk a little harder and I'm gonna think some for myself. That's the problem, because people want to have their safe fucking space. Well, if you need a safe space, man, you need to get the fuck out of here, or you need to be just reprogrammed. Because there is no safe space in this world. This is a cold and dark place. And if anybody wants to tell you different, they're a motherfucking liar.
100% agree. The real world doesn't care about your feelings.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It is.
No.
And my kids come on, you hurt my feelings. I go, sticks and stones, son. Did he punch you? No. Well, don't worry about it. What did he do? He called me a ginger. Well, deal with it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like, what's wrong with him? Make fun of him. Go right back at it. That's the problem. Like, people are scared to like lash back. It's like sometimes, you know, it's like people will call me a Neanderthal for this, but you know, sometimes, you know, kids like with bullies and all that. Sometimes one of these across the fucking jaw is all you fucking need, and you won't act stupid again. I promise you that.
I do. That is definitely for sure.
And if you're just now tuning in and you have no idea, read the name above me. This should tell you everything about my thought process of the world. And if you don't like it, and I don't care.
Well, that's a good segue to talk about. So as I'm wrapping up this interview, so what are the plans for A Killer's Confession for 2023? We just got into February. So what is the rest of the year looking like?
I'm working on our new album right now. I shelved our last album. I didn't like the direction it was going in, so I went a little harder. And I'm finishing that up. We just announced today that we're on Incarceration Festival. We were playing, I don't have the date in front of me, actually. I'm going to look right here. Excuse me. July 14th. And I'll be at Incarceration Festival. I'll be playing July 14th. It'll be July 14th, 15th, and 16th in Mansfield, Ohio at the Mansfield Prison. Get your tickets now. It's actually an awesome lineup. We got Limp Bizkit headlining Friday and Pantera headlining Saturday and Slipknot headlining Sunday. So it's going to be a great lineup.
That's a stacked lineup.
It is a stacked lineup, man. I'm lucky because I was looking at it. It's like Limp Bizkit, Volbeat, Highly Suspect, Cold Chamber, Hatebreed, a POD, Slaughter to Prevail. Slaughter to Prevail. They're such a fucking badass band. We Came as Romans, Fit for a King, Chelsea Grin, Vendetted. I can't see because I'm on my glasses. Us and a bunch of other bands on Friday. Man, it is a stacked motherfucking lineup. And I would get your tickets now. It's always a fun time. This will be our second time as a Killer's Confession playing Incarceration. So get your tickets, man. It's awesome. And you get to go through Shawshank. That's where they filmed Shawshank's Redemption. So you can go through the prison. You get tattooed in there. Yes, man. It's an amazing experience. So, guys, if you've never been to Incarceration, you definitely need to go check that out.
Oh, that is definitely awesome. I do hope you and the AKC have a really great time. I did like, as close out this interview, I did like, so when I saw you for the second time, you added some face paint for your show. I like that. I really like it. It looked really cool.
Well, that goes back to my Mushman dads. That's the other persona. That's the guy that really doesn't fucking care. Me, you can have a conversation with him. Ain't happening. That is the monster that lives in me that's pretty much wanting to break out.
Well, I was definitely digging it, and I did notice you wiped off your face paint before you talked to me after the show, so I'm glad I didn't talk to the other guy.
Well, he only shows up for the allotted time I allow him to come out. So, and trust me, he is a character. He was the one yelling at the sound guy, not me.
That is for sure. But Waylon, I had such a great time chatting with you about pro wrestling, AKC, Incarcerated, and so much more. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for hanging out here on Super Cool Radio.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me on Super Cool Radio.
Of course. For Waylon Reavis of A Killer's Confession, I'm your host as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.